Brittanee Nicole's new series, The New Romantics, drops on June 2nd with Paper Rings, the first in the new series, and I thought that it would be fun to go through all of my Goodreads reviews of all the Langfield brothers and all the Boston Bolts, which are the two intertwined universes where these characters inhabit, and I apparently have a type, which is emotionally devoted men. That's it. That's a type. Because every single man in this universe is either yearning or emotionally attached beyond reason, or a secret softie under all the hockey player paraphernalia, and absolutely ready to reorganize their whole lives around the life of the woman that they love. And I respect that. So today I am just going to go through all of my Goodreads reviews and rank my favorites. Well, no, I'm not going to rank favorites because technically they are all my favorites. Starting with Mother Faker. This was actually my first Brittanee Nicole book, and I went into it expecting a quick, fun read, and then Beckett Langfield showed up, and he had been emotionally attached for 10 straight years. 10 years. That man fell in love at first sight in an elevator and basically never recovered. And what I really loved about Beckett is that even though he acts grumpy and emotionally constipated half the time, he integrates into the Brownstown community so naturally that he becomes important to everyone there, especially the kids. And sir, I know that you said that you hated children at the beginning, but that's not a man who hates children. This is a suburban dad who spent his life undercover. He just needed a minivan and to coach a little league team. That's it. And the Spanx scene, oh my god, that was hilarious. He is so obsessed with Liv, and I loved it. Even though she didn't think much of herself, he adored her, and I loved this book. And this is when I decided that I was going to read more from this author, and now I am obsessed with her. Then we move into Fucking Revenge. Brooks Langfield is the protagonist of this one, and he almost took me out. Like the virgin trope, because there had never been anyone else he wanted. Absolutely insane behavior. I support him completely. I support his dreams. I support everything that he wants to do with his life. He is, I don't know, this big protective bear, like a Care Bear covered in rugby equipment, and I love him. And Sarah was hilarious. Their dynamic was so fun to read. Gavin, the other brother, because I forgot to say, but Brooks, Beckett, Gavin, and Aiden are siblings. And Sienna, but Sienna comes later. But then Gavin, in this book, he did make me want to punch him in the throat for a minute, but he redeemed himself, so I'll allow it. But only because his book was next. But this one, I stand by these 5 stars. I loved it. I loved it. Recommended. Highly, highly recommended. And this is Gavin's book, a major puck-up. I would have given 5 stars to this book if it was just Gavin, and rereading this review, I stand by it. Gavin is wonderful. Him immediately claiming that baby, even knowing that she isn't biologically his, that was precious. Give that man everything he wants forever. But Millie frustrated me sometimes, mostly because I wanted her to communicate more clearly with her dad instead of hiding everything inside herself. But I still enjoyed the relationship overall, though I do have to say that the age gaps like this give me the ick, especially if one of the parties is under 25, which was the case here. And I also wasn't completely sold on the nanny storyline. I think that there could have been another way to create forced proximity. But honestly, Gavin carried so much emotional weight that I still had a great time reading this one. So yeah, I stand by this review. Then Hockey Boy happened, and Aiden Langfield emotionally destroyed me. That scene where he opens up to Winnie about his struggles, I was done for. Aiden is probably one of my favorite heroes in the entire universe because there's a softness to him under everything else, and Brittanee Nicole writes that really well. That scene with him and Winnie was heartbreaking, and I love a vulnerable man. I wish there were more of those in real life. That scene worked so well for me because it didn't feel like trauma dumping for the sake of making him interesting. It made him feel more human and more vulnerable and easier to love. And yeah, I think that Brittanee Nicole wrote that really, really well. Lennox was fun too, although girl, if you had read that letter earlier, we could have avoided so many emotional disasters. But one thing that I particularly loved about that character is that she's working hard to find her own path in life beyond her family's wealth. Like, imagine Paris Hilton if she had tried to do her own thing away from her family name. That would be Lennox. That would be Lennox, for sure. And then we get to War. Tyler Warren. My God. Tyler is elite romance hero material. He's emotionally intense, he's protective, he's devoted, and somehow he's still charming instead of being overwhelming. The thing with the messages and the sister situation was definitely predictable, and Xander deserves to be punched directly in the dick. But overall, I love this one. I do think Ava occasionally felt a little inconsistent emotionally. The shift between meek and vicious didn't fully connect for me, and the thing with the contract, her reaction was honestly overreaction and a little bit stupid. But Tyler was so compelling that he carried the plot on his back. Plus, there's something about a tattooed man holding a baby that just. Oh, and I didn't tell you. I didn't. Did I tell you? No, I didn't tell you. These guys are pierced. So, do with that what you will. Then we have Playboy, and Daniel Hall was one of the funniest characters in the series. The reveal about Hannah's alter ego had me cackling, the pie scene with Noah almost killed me, and the scene with the cock ring. I hope my husband doesn't see this video, but I wish he would let me do this to him. And I think Hannah is one of the most grounded female characters in the whole Boston Bolts Langfield universe. She's competent, she's loyal, she's confident, she's funny, and she's the kind of woman that you would actually want as your best friend. My only issue with this book was that pacing, because I think that some of the internal monologue started repeating itself a little bit too much in the middle, but overall this was a fun read. This was hilarious. I don't know, though, why I gave it only 4 stars. And ignore the date, it's because there was some nonsense at the end here. But yeah, maybe this should be 5 stars because I love this book. So, yeah. Then we have Beauty, and first of all, the slutty little glasses. Oh my god, that's it. That's cinema, big cinema. I kept imagining Henry Cavill doing this part, like Noah being the protagonist of this book. I don't know why I kept imagining Henry Cavill as Superman, but well, as Clark Kent, I don't know. I think he would be perfect. But okay, so getting into the book, yeah, this was fun. This was really fun. They meet on a vacation. They have a fantastic weekend, the two of them. But then Sienna, I don't know what's wrong with that girl. You have a gorgeous man wanting to get to know you, and you had a fantastic time with him, and you had chemistry, and you don't get his phone number, you don't get his contact info. No, girl, I don't know what's wrong with you. Another thing is that I don't want to spoil it too much, but another thing that irked me about this character is that she refuses help. And I understand why. I understand wanting to be your own person and not depend on your family, but girl, people offer help because they love you, so let them help you, let them love you. And yeah, that was the part that I liked the least about her character. Also, the refusal to just get the goddamn last name. You could have saved yourself so much suffering. Girl, Noah was fantastic, and the way that I don't want to spoil it. The way that I'm just going to say that the way that he kept sending books out there, that was beautiful. That was magical. And yeah, I mean, this was great. This was a very good book, solid. I gave it 4 stars because Sienna really, really upset me. Well, that's an exaggeration. But yeah, I mean, she could have been less stubborn and things would have been easier for everyone around her. And last but not least, Snow. Camden Snow, the man that you are. I saw the twist coming and it still hit me like a truck, but at the same time I hate it a little. If you haven't read this book, skip this section because I am going to spoil it hard. I'm warning you, leave if you don't want to be spoiled. Go get some coffee. Come back in 3 minutes or so. Okay. Okay, so what do you mean that Savannah is the kid that Camden's ex-girlfriend had with his ex-best friend? If he hadn't found out that Tara was cheating, he could have raised her as his own daughter. What do you mean? This gave me the major ick. I mean, I love the characters, but this was something out of La Rosa de Guadalupe for sure. For sure. End of spoiler. And this one leaned heavier into angst than I usually prefer, but both characters were great. I love that Camden wasn't afraid of any of Savannah's plots to drive him away, because this is... What was the name of that movie? How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days coded. And yeah, he wasn't afraid of any of Savannah's plots to drive him away. He was ready for everything. And it made me a little sad that he had spent so much time waiting for life, for a family, for things, that he had almost lost hope until he found her. And then all the drama that almost ruined everything for both of them, I was reading the book and kept thinking, like, these poor people can't catch a break because Savannah had a miserable childhood and a miserable youth. And yeah, then they found each other, and then the drama. And then the worst sin of all was that moment where they were like, no, I'm letting you go. He was like, I'm letting you go after the bar scene. No, no, sir, no. Unacceptable. I hate this trope every single time. This is why I put 4 stars. I understand that this is a me problem. I understand why it works for other people. No, I still hate it. Do not nobly release the love of your life back into the wilderness like a rescued animal. No, fight for them. Ruin your dignity a little. This is romance. We expect groveling, we expect suffering, but we expect a happy ending. And I mean, we did get a happy ending, and it was very happy. I realized that I'm complaining a lot about this book, and you might think that I didn't like it. You would be very wrong in thinking that, because I did like it very, very much. I just, yeah, I agree with this review. It stays 4 stars. Overall, I genuinely enjoy these books because I think Brittanee Nicole writes emotionally devoted, invested men without making them seem like a cookie cutter situation. They are not identical. They are very different. They have very distinct personalities, and I enjoy that. I think that it usually happens, or it can happen, I'm not going to name names, but it can happen that in a series, later in the series, all the characters start like acting the same, being the same, you know? So this is what I enjoy particularly about this one, that they are all different. They are soft in different ways. They're vulnerable in different ways. Their inner life is differentiated from book to book. And the most important thing is that they all love hard. So that's what I loved. And then the next book, the upcoming book in the shared universe, which is called Paper Rings, as I said at the beginning, I already read it. I received it as an advanced reader copy, and I loved it. I loved it. It was a 5 stars for me. You will not be disappointed in that book. It has, I think that one of my favorite scenes was between Beckett and Adeline, who is the protagonist of Paper Rings. And he's her dad. He's her adoptive dad. He adopted her when she was like 2 years old. And there's this scene when he says, like, I don't remember it exactly, but it's like, you made me a dad, because that was the first one that called him dad. I think it was her. So that scene is beautiful in this book. And the chemistry between the 2 main characters, like Adeline and JJ. Oh my God. It was fantastic. I really enjoyed that book. I think it's a great addition to this universe. I hope that you will read it. Again, it drops on June 2nd, sorry. What can I tell you about this series beyond that? I learned something about myself, and it's that I apparently like hockey. I don't know a single thing about that sport, but I'm willing to learn. And that's it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If I'm planning to do something similar to this with the Kings of Sin series from Anna Huang, I just got King of Gluttony, the 6th book in the series. So after I read that, I will be doing a similar video to this one. If you have another series that you would like me to read and dissect, drop it in the comments. If you like my content, subscribe. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!